And we do appreciate you logging on to KBTX.com. We've got more questions that we couldn't get to on air for Blanche Brick, who, of course, is one of the Republicans running for the nomination for District 14 of the Texas House of Representatives. We appreciate you sticking around.
Thank you.
So you would be a freshman representative. Of course, anybody who would win other than the incumbent would take over as a freshman in the House. And is that a big hurdle, in your opinion, that you would have to overcome? And if so, how would you overcome it?
Well, I don't see it as a big hurdle. It's certainly a hurdle anytime you go to a new position. But the president incumbent is not the chairman of any committee. And so it's not losing a great deal of seniority as far as committee chairman would go in the legislature. So I think certainly there is a learning curve, but I believe that having studied U.S. history for most of my adult career, I believe I'm capable of dealing with the issues in the legislature.
Are there any votes or decisions, or maybe even lack thereof, that Representative Brown has or has not made over his time in office that if you had the chance to go back and change them, you would?
Well, I've not seen that I would change so much the ones that he did vote on. I would probably have offered many more bills than what he has authored. Now, I know he has co-authored many bills, but I believe that there should have been others that should have gone forward, that could have gone forward with a little bit more effective working in the legislature. And serving on a conference committee would certainly be one way to move things along, too.
Texas Monthly gave him the furniture designation for the past legislative session. Do you agree with Texas Monthly's assessment? Is it harsh? Is it on point? Is it not enough?
Well, I don't know. Texas Monthly obviously is a magazine. It's a journal. It's going to sell. But I think it does a good job of looking at who has earned respect in the legislature. And I think it's really up to the people of this district to decide what kind of representation they hope to have.
When it comes to the state issues, obviously the deficit and the budget is being talked about. Transportation's been a hot topic. Is there something, in your opinion, that's not getting talked about that really needs to be brought to the forefront, and what would you do on that issue?
Well, as far as the not being talked about, I really believe we need to talk more about what democracy demands of us to make it work. I think that sometimes we have surrendered too much to partisan bickering. And once we demonize the other side, it's very difficult to reach agreement on any issue. So I think an overall atmosphere of the importance of working together, of cooperating to come up with the best possible solutions. There is no one perfect solution to every problem. And I don't want us to get locked into saying it's my way or nothing else.
When it comes to a primary, candidates always try to differentiate themselves from the other. A lot of the platform is probably the same, but what makes you different than the other three?
Well, I think that I have had a lot of experience studying U.S. history and spending some time looking at what we've done right and what we've done wrong in our past and how we fixed it. And I think there is a big difference. I do understand that the three of us have different areas of the four, the three and then the incumbent that we bring to this. But I think my interest in serving is coming from my time as an educator, but also as a historian, and finally as a parent. And somebody who is committed to living in this district and to have raised my children here. And I believe we have a very, very bright future, and I believe heavily it is going to be tied to what happens with education.
Blanche, we appreciate the time this morning. Thank you for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you.